Okay, you showed me that there's a scale of narcissism. Like,
Mhm, mhm.
can you talk about that a little bit? Or
Well,
narcissistic
what I
traits, I
showed
should say.
you, it was the healthy narcissism scale.
Okay.
And basically, healthy narcissism is you care about yourself, but you also care about other people. So, so somebody, and I've had people do this, Marnie, where they'll score high having some of the narcissistic traits. In other words, maybe they like attention, maybe they feel like they have some special abilities, um, or they're a performer or whatever, and also just knock the socks off a compassion scale. There's a compassion scale on University of Pennsylvania has a site, their Center for Positive Psychology, which is a really good site where you can take questionnaires for free, by the way, FYI. And they have a compassion scale. So I've seen people literally score high on healthy narcissism. They like attention. They want to feel special. They want to feel important. But on the other hand, they're some of the most compassionate people in the world. So you can have those two things together, the two traits. So, and I found that when I was getting my doctorate in counseling psychology, you have to be narcissistic to go to the grad school. You have to have some narcissistic, okay? Because you have to get centered on what you're doing and making good grades or you're out of there. So it can look temporarily pretty narcissistic, but the people that were there were the most caring, compassionate people ever. And they were choosing a career of compassion. But yet, if you saw them studying night and day with their door closed saying, do not knock unless you're on fire, then you would think, gosh, you could call them narcissistic. No, they had a deadline for a important paper, and it was hard as heck, and they'd been drinking caffeine for 24 hours, and unless somebody was on fire, they didn't want to hear from them. You understand? So sometimes it can look that way if you just take a slice in time.
Mm-hmm.
But these may be the very same people who are out there in the trenches with the mentally ill, doing everything they can with a huge compassionate heart. But they wanted to learn. They wanted to know what they were doing.
Right. Yeah. I think you sent me that test. I think I came up on the high on the healthy narcissism, and then the compassionate was high too, or something.
We both did.
Yeah,
We
we
both
both
did
did that. Yeah.
both.
But if
You've
you're going
got
to put yourself out there and you're trying to help people, you have to have some level of confidence and believing in yourself and kind of thinking you have something special to share. I mean, that's kind of, those
yeah.
all look like very narcissistic traits to somebody who wants to see you as a narcissist, probably,
If they want to label you that. You see, well,
Yeah.
let me give you an example. I worked with a couple years ago, and she ran her own business, and she worked with elderly. And I would see her with these patients, and she was just incredible, trying to get what was right for them, advocating for them. She was a social worker. That was her career. Now, she could also be really bossy, but she ran a good business. Well, as they divorced, her husband said she was narcissistic personality. See, he called her narcissistic, and he only looked at the fact that she was a boss and that she was very driven and she felt like her business was special and she advocated for it and she wanted attention for that. Well, on the other hand, this is a social worker who I'm sitting there going, wait a minute. She had 4 kids. She majorly took care of them. She had a career helping older people. This is not a narcissistic personality. So yes, getting back to what you said earlier, people are way too throwing around labels about traits that people have without looking at the whole picture of the person. And in fact, as you mentioned on that test of healthy narcissism, you are completely opposites in the sense that you're highly compassionate, but you also have some traits, you know, where you want attention, where you want to feel like what you have to say is important. That doesn't mean you're a narcissistic personality.